Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a long time. Today is April 17th, Friday. Let me see if I'm in focus. Alright, I'm in frame. Welcome back to my channel. I know I've been like super MIA, and then one of my goals this year was to be better at YouTube, but like the semester has been so busy, YouTube tends to take a back burner, and I wanted to change that so bad this year, but it is what it is. So I'm sure you guys know already, because there's a bunch of videos of different YouTubers and the news and everything. We're all quarantined. Our school also decided to stop doing clinicals, I think a little later on the frame, because I'm part of a nursing group on Facebook, and a lot of people had been canceling like early March. Our nursing school was going by the guidance of the president of the school and the dean of nursing. Hold on. At the beginning of March and end of February, I'm in a Facebook like nursing student group, where like if you're a future nursing student or like in nursing school, like a lot of people will post questions on there or about applying on there, stuff like that. A lot of people had been talking about how their clinicals had been canceled and or postponed, and then everything was online, and my school hadn't even mentioned anything, and we hadn't brought it up. I'm pretty sure I've touched on this before, but we live, don't start, please. We live, go buddy. So we live in a rural area of Louisiana. I don't know the population, but town is maybe 6 or 7 miles long. The next town over is 30 minutes away, and it's the same thing. It's really small. The hospitals are small. So to get to like a bigger city where the virus would spread, it's about an hour away, 2 hours away in either direction. So the virus hadn't really came to this area or Louisiana. So then 2 weeks after Mardi Gras, the head of our level came on just to talk, and she said, look, this is what's happening. They found a case. There's only one. We're making a contingency plan just in case we get quarantined. We don't think it's going to get that bad. It was 2 weeks before spring break. So we were all like, what's going on? A bunch of us had trips planned. And she was like, if you're going out of town, you need to tell us. Because when you come back, quarantine might be in place and it might affect the semester, etc. I got worried because we had a trip planned to Puerto Rico that we later canceled. So then that happened that day. A couple days go by. We go to our Tuesday lecture, and nothing. No, they hadn't heard a word. All they were saying was that they were closing down. No, yeah, they hadn't heard anything. It was still in talks. And then Wednesday came around, and it was still kind of up in the air. The dean of nursing had sent out a long message saying that whatever happens, they're going to be here for us. We're going to finish the semester, blah, blah, blah. Talking about the virus and to stay safe. And then Wednesday night, like at 8, we had 6 clinical days left in the semester. At least my group did. Some groups had more. So at the end of the night that Wednesday, Dean of Nursing had canceled all clinical rotations for any level except graduates if they already have license, because either way they work in the scene and they should know how to protect themselves. So then that was a bummer. We had Thursday and Saturday left, which was last day of OB and med-surg. I was so bummed out because on Saturday we were supposed to have 3 patients, and I was so excited. But everything happens for a reason. We were being flexible at this point, my main concern was that I mentally have been so stressed and anxious, and I've reached out to different outlets so that like I was managing all that, but I wanted to go on this trip so bad with my husband and a friend of ours, so I could just kind of like detach myself from everything, get out of Louisiana, get out of my house, you know, just a change in environment, not really escaping from anything, but just something stress-free, having a beer on the beach. So at this point I was like, we're going to Puerto Rico unless they close the airport. If I get quarantined when I come back, it doesn't matter because we're not going to have clinicals. You know, thinking really irresponsibly, but also because I really wanted to go. The following Wednesday we had a test. So to make up for Thursday and Saturday, we had clinicals on campus. Friday afternoon before we went home, they had sent an email saying that they were closing all campuses except for computer labs, cafeterias, stuff like that. So at that point they said you could either take the test at school or online at home. I'm a control freak, so I took it at school, then back to campus since the 18th of March. So technically, we started like the quarantine, staying at home on the 13th of March, so we're way over a month in. At this point, Wednesday, we had already said we're not going to Puerto Rico. All the beaches in Puerto Rico closed. They put a curfew. The travel advisories levels were changing. So at that point, the focus, since we live on a military installation, things are different and work different. So we were placed on a 100-mile radius, so you can't go farther than that. For me, like, I'm a wife, I'm not in the military, I can. As a suggestion, I shouldn't. My husband was like, you're not going to Puerto Rico without me. So then after that same week, it went down to 50 because it got a little closer, the virus. And then so we canceled spring break. My husband stayed here home on leave. Then we were just being super cautious. We weren't really leaving the house, only going to grocery shop. But yeah, that's what we've been doing ever since then. Everything has been online, which has been frustrating, but also I kind of like it. Copper probably has separation anxiety again from me being home all the time now, but it's been a pain because it's hard to motivate yourself to do all these lectures, and they're not lecturing where it's live. It's like a voiceover PowerPoint, so we just go over it ourselves. So motivating yourself is harder. Clinical wise, I know maybe somebody might ask how we made up those clinical days. So out of 6, 2 were already made up that last week, and then that gave 4 days left plus a simulation lab that we were supposed to do that counted as clinical hours, and we just did VSIMs, which if you're not in nursing school, or if your nursing school doesn't do that, VSIMs is a virtual clinical experience. Our last 4 days was going to be at a psych hospital, so we have with our psych book we have VSIMs, and it's such a bummer because I really didn't want to do the psych hospital rotation, but now from doing VSIMs and talking to the nurse that works there, because we were like chatting with her, like doing a post conference after every VSIM, I really feel like I would have loved that experience, but things happen. So we finished that. We have one more OB assignment to make up, and we'll be done with clinicals. Since being fully online, we've taken one test, which was last week, but it was harder and more frustrating than we all thought. And material wise, I still passed, but whatever. Anyways, and then next week we have a test, which is our last psych test. After that we have our mental health ATI, which they're gonna create a test from a test bank that they're given from ATI that they're allowed to use. I don't know how that grading will work. We will see. So that's after next week's test. and then we have our final and we'll be done for the summer. So I mean, going online did suck, but at least it wasn't, all this didn't happen like in January. If this would have happened in January, like it would have changed the semester. And we're fortunate to not be in first or fourth level, because first level didn't do any clinical experience, and I think your first semester as a nursing student, like that clinical experience is so valuable, because you're learning the ropes, you're learning about hospitals, you're seeing how things happen. We learned a lot of like hygiene, bed changings, all that in first level. It just sets the tone. It's like a concrete foundation that you need, and I feel like without that I feel so terrible for them. And then, but that's my quarantine update. I have been doing gardening. I'll show you a clip right here of my garden, and I put flowers in the front. I added some plants back here because it's room needed plants, and I still need like a tree back there, and not a tree, like a bigger plant, like a palm or a fig leaf fiddle tree. I can't remember what they're called in English. I've cleaned a lot. My house for the most part isn't really cluttery. We leave stuff everywhere. I put all that stuff away, but we've deep cleaned a lot. I went through my closet. I rearranged all my drawers. I cleaned in spots that I didn't know you have to clean in this house. Things that we've changed coming and leaving the house has been like, we opened no packages inside the house. When my husband works, a couple of weeks ago, he had to work night shifts at the ER guarding the doors, questioning people coming in, so he did come in contact with COVID patients, and he would come in, take off his clothes, put it all in one bag, and then sanitize the door, wash his hands, and then he came and went straight to the shower and didn't touch anything. We've pretty much been doing that, just staying smart, really. I'm reading a book. At first it was really frustrating after I finished cleaning my house, because I'm like, what am I doing? How do people stay at home all day? But then I got over it. I've been making to-do lists every day, and there's just something for me to do every day. It creates structure. I haven't been waking up too late or going to sleep too late, because I need consistency, because if not I will just like curl up in the couch and not function. I've noticed that about myself. But yeah, that's what quarantine has been for me. After this, I have another video lined up that I had pre-filmed back in March or February. And then after I film this clip, I'm gonna film another clip that will go into that video, so you'll see that in the next video. If you have any questions at all about this quarantine process, especially like here on base, I might talk about that. Yeah, just let me know. If you are a military spouse, how has it been where you live? If you're not at Fort Polk, like what have they changed other than like having to wear a mask at the commissary? If you're a nursing student, how has it been for you with quarantine? Or like if you're some type of student, how is your school handling not doing clinicals and all that stuff? I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you watched all the way through this video, and I hope I didn't talk too much. I kind of wanted to stick to 10 minutes, and I don't think that happened. Hopefully I could have this up today. I've also been working out a lot, so that has been nice. I feel better mentally, physically. My energy is better. I'm calmer, not as anxious. I realized I lost hair from stress and anxiety in the last year and a half. So I'm trying to be zen one with myself. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. You know the deal. If you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Give this video a big thumbs up. It'll help me gain more subscribers, and I will for sure see you in the next video. Bye.